And some pretty cool weather is on the way after today. We'll get into all that stuff coming up. And it's really unsettled. I was seeing a story out in Michigan where a meteorologist said, don't trust with the current conditions, whatever we're in. Is this like an El Nino year?
There was a lot of talk about El Nino at the end of last year, so
it's an El something year. I don't know what it is. Anyway, the meteorologist said, do not listen right now. Normally, we're pretty good with the extended forecast, but don't listen to it right now because the conditions are so erratic that we can't predict.
Well, you say that every morning. Don't listen to the weather forecast that I'm about to give you because...
Yeah, because we don't even know unless it's negative, and that always seems to be the case.
Right.
So, but some cooler weather on the way. Tomorrow, not even getting out of the 50s. So we'll get into that. Hillary Clinton is the presumptive nominee now, officially, and she is not happy about it. So are you thinking about this? Do you really think? I saw when this report came out last night, I think AP broke it. Because she has, this is like the final Super Tuesday in the primaries. So she's in the battle of her life to get rid of Bernie Sanders. And going into California and New Jersey, two biggies, she doesn't want people to say, oh, it's all over. The last thing she would have wanted, I think anyway, is for the announcement to come last night.
Mm-hmm. I think she's going to lose anyway. Whether they said that or not,
it's
Sanders
tight.
is giving her a run for her money.
He is. He is, but it's still, you're in the polls in California, it's like she's 47, 44 or something. Whatever. I don't know, 47, 43. Yeah. And but either way, she might. But in order to, if you were going to win, the last thing you want to do is tell your supporters, hey, it's all over. I'm the nominee. Don't worry about coming out. So that's really what happened last night. It was an AP News bulletin. Hillary is the nominee. Donald Trump still going on and really going strong on this whole situation with the Mexican judge and what if it was a Muslim judge? Newt Gingrich out over the weekend. We talked about it yesterday. Really ripping on Trump. I wouldn't. I guess I wouldn't say it that way, but criticizing him. He said it's a mistake. He shouldn't say it. He's got to walk it back. I don't know how you walk these things back, but apparently Trump is able to do that. But he won't. And he's not, and came out yesterday and was criticizing Newt Gingrich. I don't understand.
He did walk it back a little bit, and he said if he really doesn't care if the judge is Mexican or not, either way he's being treated unfairly.
That was in the same statement that he said, how can I'm building a wall? In the same statement. So I'm not racist, because I really don't care if it's a Mexican judge or not, but... he's Mexican. How can he be fair? So when he said, it's like saying, I'm not racist and coming out and repeating the statement. Nothing's being walked back. And he's criticizing the people who are criticizing him. Nuts. You've got one ready to be indicted. And by the way, John Zogby has a poll out that says 57% of American voters in a recent poll feel that if Hillary Clinton is to be indicted, that she should not continue on the race.
It's only 57%?
47% are adamant, and another 10% are somewhat unsure. Remember, this is going to go pretty much down party lines. But once you get into the 50% range, 57% range, that's crossing into, there's a portion of Democrats who are saying it as well.
I think it's interesting. Last night I was kind of perusing social media, and I thought it was interesting the number of women who are voting for Hillary simply because she's a woman.
Yeah, you'll see that.
I think that is just not the right motivation. Whether or not it would be as bad as you voting for Donald Trump because he's not a woman.
Yeah.
You know, I just...
Or because he's white, which, you know...
Well,
I guess they're both. They're all white.
Yeah.
They're all. Well, you got a Jewish guy in there, so that could make some little uncomfortable.
Back to this judge thing, though.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. I mean, he's got to realize the majority of Americans, and while this judge may have a Mexican background, he's an American. He was born here. Majority of Americans
born in like Indiana or something
feel like we don't want anyone coming, just walking across the border, come and go as you please. This judge could very well be, he could be pro-wall for all we know.
He's the problem is he's not making decisions in the way that Trump wants to make decisions. Wants the decisions made in this Trump University thing. But what's interesting, if you just watch it and really dig in, Notice that his attorneys are not asking for the judge to be removed. The only one asking for the judge to be removed is Trump. The attorneys aren't. You know why they're not? You know why the attorneys are not asking for the judge to be removed? Because there's no reason for it. There's no evidence that he is biased and that he should be removed. And who would want to remove a federal judge based on his ethnicity? I mean, I can't even. But again, this is the year of Trump, and anything can happen. Andrew pointed out this John Oliver. He does the Sunday night show on HBO.
Yes,
and I found the audio where he beat Oprah. Beat her soundly as he did the biggest giveaway in television history. Oprah currently previously had the record by giving away a bunch of cars to
that
you
was worth $8 million.
and you and you and you and you. You all get a car. He was doing a story on debt collection companies, so he created one and bought $15 million worth of medical debt for $60,000. $15 million of medical debt for $60,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that shows you how they're able to do this. And then they get on the phone and they start calling these people just to get anything out of them. And it's profitable. A cool idea.
And this is really, it's really cool, and it's really true. I mean, they did this.
Yeah. I got to do the, how many people did you say it was?
9,000.
9,000. Andrew, divide the 9,000 people into 15 million. I'm wondering what the average person...
I think it's 100 and
whatever it is, but then
150,000.
But then divide that into the 60,000. So you have 9,000. Divide that into the 60,000. How much each individual's debt cost? It would be interesting. You literally could buy a person's debt for how much money?
For a couple of bucks, right?
Yeah, I mean it's really crazy when you think about it. And this is what he did, making television history. And as Andrew said, Oprah's car giveaway was worth $8 million. And this was worth $15 million, and it cost them $60,000.
That's
and for HBO, it's a drop in the bucket. And I've heard him talk about the freedoms in other interviews, the freedoms he's had with HBO as a boss.
Oh,
like they literally are just like, all right, you got a half
do what you
hour
want.
every Sunday night.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, and they don't get into the really big censorship and all that stuff. It's like, you want to say F you to Oprah? Go ahead.
Go right ahead.
We're all right with that.
Did you hear his? I mean, he's also done some amazing interviews. He did an amazing interview with Edward Snowden.
Yeah, he's had some great.
I am the queen of
blistering. He does some blistering dissertations on a roasting of people as well. I mean, the guy's
He's
good.
brilliant.
It's a good show on Sunday nights on HBO.
He was the only one that was trusted by Jon Stewart to take over the Daily Show when Jon Stewart was working on a movie that he had a passion for. I think he was producing the film.
Yeah.
But John Oliver was the fill-in host for the Daily Show on Comedy Central.
Back in our audio booth
with such disdain.
It's
great that she did this.
I will tell you, I feel like there's some discrimination going on. This is all women she gave him to, not one man.
That's a good point,
Well, and how about-
that's why we're bothered by it.
That's why.
Dear Lord.
6:52 or 6:22, I should say. Here's Chris.